Scott, we're down in Chicama, Peru right now, and guess what? NVS fins. I don't know if you saw that big stash of fins downstairs for people just to use. NVS fins sent us fins for everybody.
I did, and I looked through them, and I'm hoping there's like a quad set. I didn't. I saw a tri-fin set. I saw an album set. Um, what else did I see? But yeah, look, NVS fins. We've got them here, and we're all using them, and people are talking about them. Our friend Alexander from Bali is really red hot on them, and NVS fins. They're also going to be at the Boardroom Show. Check them out.
Absolutely. Yeah. Really incredible stuff. Lots of different templates and also experimental stuff. Like you and I have embraced the C drive fins years ago, but they also sent us a set of the Cheyne Haran straight up
Oh,
fins.
yeah, yeah,
They just look like almost a rectangle.
yeah. They're
Um,
like America's Cup keel vibes.
they're exactly right. So I brought those as well for anybody who wants to try. So they have kind of really traditional styles and from very well-known shapers that you can use, but then or that you can buy and use, but also they're on the cutting edge of always trying this new stuff out too. And they'll design custom fins for you if you're a surfboard shaper and you have something that you want. So
And you don't even have
incredible
to be a
program.
shaper. They've made me custom fins. I was just like, make these ones for me. I like these Tom Carroll fins from way back when, and they Leif and Jamin were great, man. So yeah, you just riff with them. They love
Totally.
to do stuff.
Totally. It's like having a personal, like a custom surfboard shaper, but they're your fin shaper.
Yes,
So
perhaps nothing more important than your fins.
exactly. Go to surfnvs.com. And then also Real Water Sports, not only an incredible retailer with a 1,500 surfboard inventory, we talk about their video review series that they do for their surfboards, but their Chicama video was watched by everybody on this trip multiple times in preparation. So gotta love them for that too.
Yeah, real water sports. Trip is going to be, oh, Trip. I asked Trip, I'm like, Trip, you got to come out for the boardroom show. And Trip, who's one of the owners of Real Water Sports, he's like, I'd absolutely be there, but I'm going to Kandui. So Trip's going to be in Indo in October. So it's kind of hard to pull him away from that.
The only thing Trip loves more than glad handing and passing out beers at the boardroom show is surfing.
Yeah, he's pretty hardcore. There's no doubt about that.
Yeah, he was also down here in Chicama too. So they made an incredible video. If you want to learn more about everything that we've been talking about, go and check it all out at realwatersports.com.
As we see some movement at the takeoff zone, it's Kelly Slater grabbing right.
Yeah, guy. Welcome everybody to the Spit Podcast. It's a special edition of the Spit Podcast. David Lee Scales, Scott Bass with you on Thursday, August 28th. And good afternoon to you. And David, you have a special guest. Tell us who we have here.
Special guest joining us from Waterways Travel, Brian Pullman. Can you explain what your role is at Waterways Travel, and then we'll explain what you're doing here today?
Yeah,
You have
thanks.
the mic.
Yeah, thanks for having me, guys. Great to be here. I'm just I do the Tavarua reservations, so manage all of the reservations, flights, meal requests, all the basic stuff that goes into making a surf trip special, so you guys don't have to think about it.
And the reason we wanted to have you on was to discuss the rumor, well, the WSL Finals day, swell forecast, all that sort of stuff. But also, there's been a rumor about the event potentially running at restaurants instead of Cloudbreak. Where did this rumor start? What are the realities of it actually them doing that, and any other details regarding that?
Yeah, I think that I'm not sure where the rumor started. I saw that come out on Surfer Mag, but absolutely, like if you're looking at this forecast, it's a restaurant swell. From what I've seen, it's a 7 feet at 13, 14 seconds, and that translates to epic restaurants. It's not like that at Cloudbreak on that type of an interval. It's going to be big and peaky, and there will be barrels out there, but it's a restaurant swell. So I would love to see them run it at restaurants, honestly.
I I'll be super bummed if it's at restaurants. The whole thing, by the way, restaurants obviously great wave. Want to surf there again? Love it. And this is nothing against the wave of restaurants. This is about ending the final five, culminating in a wave of consequence. While restaurants is shallow and fast and fun, it is no wave of consequence relative to what we know of as a wave of consequence. Cloudbreak is a wave of consequence. There's a reason they moved it to Cloudbreak so that they would not have it at a fun rippable wave that's like a wave pool. We want to have it where it's mean and shifty, and I'm glad it's peaky. And oh, do you know that wave? Do you know where to sit when it's like that? We're gonna.
I'm curious, what will this, if there's diehards like Scott who don't want it to run at restaurants and they do have to run it at Cloudbreak, what will that swell look like for Cloudbreak?
Yeah, I mean, I understand where you're coming from. I think even moving the whole infrastructure, the tower, the judging is much more difficult at restaurants, especially as the day goes on with lighting. So, I mean, there's a lot of reasons that we all want to see it at Cloudbreak, but it is a restaurant swell. So we'll see what happens at Cloudbreak. There will be big barrels. It will be peaky, it will be shifty, and the guys that know the reef, guys that have been going down there, putting in time. Yago's one of those guys. I definitely think he would have an advantage. Yeah.
Do you want to make a pick? Who are your picks for?
Yeah.
Oh, well, I tell you what, if it's at Cloudbreak, I think I got to go with Yago. And if it is at restaurants, I might go with what I think is maybe the fastest guy is Italo. I'm gonna go with him.
Bummer.
Did you guys happen to catch my? Did you guys happen to catch my last comment before I froze about Italo?
No.
No.
Restate.
So what I said is, look, if it's at restaurants, what we're going to be seeing is a guy going super fast and pulling into the barrel and getting insane ones and then doing airs at the end. And Italo would be my pick, but that's not what we signed up for. And that's where I have a problem.
Yeah.
That's where
Well, as we know, they can only do what they can do with the swell that's on tap. So the question is, would you rather them run at Cloudbreak in that type of a swell where it's going to be peaking, it's not going to be connecting all the way through, or would you rather have them at flawless restaurants?
I really don't know, but my heart says let's do it at Cloudbreak. That's where my heart is. Even if it's not like an insane Cloudbreak swell, and it makes more sense. It's a restaurant swell. It's also probably like some other pass in Fiji swell. Insert pass here. But we signed up for Cloudbreak, and
Okay.
I don't know. It's one of those things too where, like the day of the event, it could be very, very obvious that Cloudbreak's totally shitty and restaurants is insane. And oh my God, why wouldn't we have it here? And so, I haven't seen an event at restaurants since like Joel Tudor won some like paddle, invitational thing in 1998 or whatever it was. So it could be fun. It could be great. Either way, it's going to be exciting. This isn't so much about hating on restaurants or loving on Cloudbreak as it is, we want a wave of consequence to determine our champion. And that's why we chose Cloudbreak. And so that's where I'm at.
All right. Well, you and I will discuss more of the event. I got to let Brian go, potentially take a nap. I'm not sure what he's going to do next, actually.
Maybe headed out to get some waves. All right.
Might be surfing. So we're in Chicama right now, thanks to waterwaystravel.com. So Scott and I will discuss that further, but feel free to share any thoughts on Chicama and then also let people know who want to go to Fiji or go to Tavarua. Is it hard to get in? Is there a wait list? What are we looking like?
Yeah, absolutely. Peak season is still pretty tough to get in. It's a long list. It's a short window when everyone's out of school in that June, July, August kind of time. But September, March, kind of those shoulder season months, just go to waterwaystravel.com and email us. And sometimes there's some spots. Can't guarantee it, but it's more likely than you would think at times. As far as this wave goes, Chicama, I mean, we've only been here 2 days. Absolutely insane setup. Winds prevailing offshore with this headland. It's a really long wave, even at the waist high waves that we've gotten so far. And the swell is rising. I'm super stoked, and I think everybody here. Thanks to you guys for putting this together with us, and glad to be a part of it.
Awesome, man.
Thanks.
And David, let me just say about Brian, he's stealthy, sneaky in the lineup. I've been with him out at Cloudbreak, and I've seen him just kind of weave and smile his way into a bunch of good waves. He knows how to work the crowd. He's a wonderful surfer, and tip of the cap to you, Brian, for helping us out and putting on such a great event for us.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys. All
Thank
right.
you. All right, man. See ya.
Yeah, look, it looks like the 1st or 2nd of September, probably the 2nd of September is when you know, the Surfline forecasts and all the mojo online is leaning towards that date for it to run 8 to 12 feet mid-period swell, as we just mentioned. So I'd like to see it at 12, 12 feet peaky cloud break would be so challenging and so incredible. I think
I don't disagree with you. I mean, I guess you're right. If it's 12 feet at Cloudbreak, absolutely put them out there. My concern, without knowing that, or just from talking to Brian the other day, was if the if Cloudbreak is small, if it's like 4 foot at Cloudbreak and it's 8 foot at restaurants, run them at restaurants.
I don't think it goes like that. It goes,
Okay,
if it's
good.
12 feet at cloud break, 6 to 8 feet at restaurants. It's not the other way around. So, um, it's funny. I read a little bit about it yesterday or recently, and Jojo Roper was asked about it. He's a boatman out there right now, I think, for this event, and he was like, "Yeah, it's a restaurant swell, but Cloudbreak will be insane. There'll be 12-foot peaks with on the ledge, insane barrels, deep heaving barrels, and so
Perfect. I'm sold. Cloudbreak it is. Run it at Cloudbreak. I guess ultimately, if that's the back end of the waiting period, so if they can't run it up until then, and then the swell comes, I'd say wake up that morning, assess both, and make the call. But it sounds like if it plays out the way that you're saying, then that's a no-brainer. Cloudbreak's the choice.
well, that's what you would think would happen, regarding wake up, make the call. But Brian's referenced that moving the infrastructure could take a solid, half a day or more. So they may just have to pull the trigger before they wake up, like pull the trigger the day before and just go, what do we do? And move everything, And the thing about moving everything is that I think there is one more day in the waiting period. I, I don't know. I think it's going to be fine, and I think it's going to be a cloud break. And
Okay.
I think the people that are kind of not spreading the rumor, but are sort of talking about it at restaurants are are Tavarua experts that know that this looks like a really good restaurant swell, and I get it, but it doesn't mean it's not waves of consequence, 8 to 12 feet at cloud break.
Yeah, the moment they say it's a restaurant swell, that's when the media starts running with it and rumors start spinning. But just saying it's a restaurant swell isn't a message from the WSL themselves saying that they're going to change the location.
And all those people that are saying that are frothy I mean, restaurants doesn't get that epic. I mean, it gets epic, quite a bit. But my point is that if you're a goofy foot who lives for restaurants, you're like, oh, it's a restaurant swell. Like they're frothing about it, and I get that, but that doesn't necessarily correlate to that's where we're going to crown our champion. And so, yeah.
I like it. I thought that you were a little too fiery when we started this conversation, and now your fervor has won me over, and I'm glad because I was worried. I didn't want to see it at restaurants either.
I mean, restaurants is going to be, it'll be, it's a great wave, but we know what we're going to see. They're all going to
Yeah.
sit on the same peak. Set's going to come. Somebody's going to take number two out of the set. They're just going to get insane, fast, rippable, perfect waves and do airs. And, there's going to be plenty of action. Don't get me wrong. It's not going to be a bad event. And if this was just a regular WSL CT event with all of the guys on tour, makes tons of sense because you can get an entire day done there. I,
Well,
I don't know.
what are your thoughts based on seeing the free surfs that have been taking place the last few days? Do you have any updated thoughts on picks?
Well, I mean, Brian had some great points. If it's run out at Cloudbreak and it's peaky, but 8 to 12 feet, which is probably what it'll be. Um, I mean, guys that have a lot of time in out there, Yago has got a lot of time in out there. From the women's side, I'm not sure who's got a lot of time in out there, to be honest with you, from the women's side of things. It might be Molly because she lives in Oz. It's a quick flight. But yeah, do you know
I
who?
I don't know who spent the most time out there from the women. Actually, Caroline Marks for sure.
Yeah.
Um,
Did you
but
see
from
the
the
thing on
men,
Stab where they asked the competitors where they would rather run it?
no.
So there's a great thing on Stab's Instagram where somebody at Stab put a camera and asked all five of them, where would you have it, rather have it run? And the majority of them would rather have it at restaurants. And then there's a
Wow.
few guys like Yago and Jack Robinson that are smart enough to go, it doesn't matter. Put me out there all weekend. You know, like the ones
Yeah.
that are like, oh, restaurants. To me, that's like, oh, they don't want to serve Cloudbreak. That's code for I don't want to serve Cloudbreak, you know?
Yeah.
And then there's some, and Carolyn Marks is among those like Jack and Yago that are like, doesn't matter. I love them both. Let's go. And then,
So
Jordy, that's where Jordy wants to surf it.
I'd say Cloudbreak.
Restaurants.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
That's where Italo wants to
Well,
do it.
yeah. So it's funny talking about Brian said Yago has a lot of experience out there. Not more than Jack Robinson. How are you guys overlooking Jack Robinson? Jack Robinson is my pick at
Me too.
Cloudbreak, full stop. Like whether or not it's 12 feet or it's 8 feet, doesn't matter. Jack at Cloudbreak. Now, restaurants, I think you're right. Italo is a lock, but yeah,
Well, Yago, I mean,
Cloudbreak.
you can't overlook Yago. Yago, as the number one seed, he's going to also go super fast and do aerials just like Elo. It'll probably be a pretty insane final if it's Elo and Yago and they're just going bing, 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 and it'll be really who does the biggest one and makes it.
I am overlooking Yago for some reason. I don't know why. And obviously he's in first. That's a miscalculation on my part, but I do kind of overlook him.
Well,
Not
Jack
sure.
Robinson, I agree with you. Jack is my pick. He's my pick from my heart, but he's also the strategic and logical pick based mostly for me on his mental game. And this is really where this comes down to who's got the mental game to win this thing.
So three factors for Jack for me. Experience, the mental game that we saw in Tahiti, where we all had to take notice of what took place that day. And then number three, his pre event warm up surfs out there. Redbull put out a video of him warming up at Cloudbreak, and he's kind of on a different level. He's like so intuitive. It's a style of surfing that we haven't seen out there from anybody really other than Kelly Slater, Andy Irons, kind of that level of performance and just intuition with the wave.
Yeah, I forget who's the second seed. Is it Jordy? I think it is Jordy.
Jordy is second. Yeah, Jordy is second.
So at some point we're going to see a Griff and Jack Robinson heat.
Yep. Or presuming Jack beats Italo in the first heat.
Right. And if it's a cloud break, Jack will beat Italo. And then that Jack Robinson Griff heat, I think one of those guys will be in the final and it'll be them against Yago. And either one of those guys, that would be great. If it's one of those two guys against Yago at Cloudbreak, I think it'd be insane.
Talking about overlooking somebody, you're just completely under throwing Jordy under the bus.
He said he doesn't want to serve Cloudbreak.
That was all he needed to say for you.
I mean, he didn't say that, but he said, I'd rather do it at restaurants. And to me,
Mm.
I don't know what I think Jordy has a better chance at Cloudbreak to win than he does at
Uh,
restaurant.
that's what I would have thought too. So I know there's no, I just gave you three reasons why Jack's going to win. I don't have even one reason why Jordy should win this event. Like, he's not known for his backhand surfing. Um, he's definitely not known for backhand big wave surf or, barreling reef pass surfing. He's inconsistent as a competitor. Like, he had a great year, but he doesn't showcase the level of fiery, steely determination that we see from Italo or Jack. But all that being said, I'm spiritually hoping that I'm spiritually willing him to win.
Well, it'll for sure be a great story. Everyone will feel good, and myself included, if Jordy wins a world title. Um, do you know why Italo wants to do it at restaurants?
I think because he knows he'll dominate that style of wave.
His reason was so I can go in, chill out on the beach in the restaurant between heats, have some coffee, get like a salt scrub massage. You know, it's all about the comfort of the island. That was his reason, the comfort of the island versus being on a boat out there for 8 hours.
He's on a different level.
Did you
I
see
this
what
will
he
be his
rocked
ultimate.
up?
Yes, I did. So this is his ultimate like power, and this will also dismantle him. This love for Italo himself, and this love of comfort, and this love of just possessions and things drove him to get to this level. And now that he's on that level, there's no way it can sustain him. He can only unravel from here.
You know, I just smile, and the smile comes from my heart because all five of these guys are really great guys and easy to get behind, you know. And Idolo's like that. Like Idolo's so charming in his own sort of Idolo way that you just feel like he's like a kid at a candy store, you know. He's
Yeah.
just like bopping around. He's so stoked to be there. And, oh yeah, I want to do this. And, you know, he's got that kinetic energy that's just fascinating. And so as
Now,
fans, we really can't go wrong here.
well, I just have one question. Jordy, the way that he answered his question completely made you discount his ability to win this. I will apply a similar question to Italo. Did he use the term salt scrub when he was giving his explanation?
No, I made that part up. I
Because
embellished a
if he
little.
did, I'll throw him out immediately.
No, I came up with that on my own. But it was obvious, like he's like, I just want to hang out in the restaurant between heats and drink coffee and relax.
Drink
And
Red Bull.
I think he might have said that actually, but you should go onto Stab's Instagram. You can actually reference it from Stab's website, and they'll
So
see the answers. And the women's
the
answers are interesting too.
the um the other thing I like about this, just as a viewer and entertainment factor, is how divided everybody's opinions are. Because Stab also did they asked five different surf world luminaries to give their thoughts on who would win. It was like, CJ Hobgood and whoever else, different coaches and surfers. And they were all separate, like they all kind of had a different pick. There might have been a little overlap here and there, but it was like, it's a year where really anybody could win. I was just
So
saying it's a year where anybody could win.
let me ask you this. It feels like Cloudbreak's actually more of a level playing field for all five of them than restaurants. Restaurants is going to favor the two Brazilians.
No, but you could use that logic and say or Cloudbreak is going to favor those who have surfed it the most. And you can pick two or three based on that.
Perhaps so. Perhaps
It's
so.
not a level play. I would agree with the sentiment of what you're saying. It's not a level playing field, but it services those who have, spent more time in the water there, basically, which is
Like
really what we want a surf contest to do.
if it's at restaurants, there's a certain guy that you just throw out. Just like if it's at lowers, you throw out Connor Coffin. You're like, there's no way Connor Coffin's going to beat Felipe.
Yeah.
And at restaurants, there's a guy you throw out.
Yeah.
And
Well, on the
that's
women's
unfortunate.
side,
I think that's unfortunate.
it is unfortunate. And on the women's side, it is much more up in the air. We don't know. Like we can make a little assessment on who will perform well at restaurants, but at Cloudbreak, any of them, Betty Lou Johnson can come from fifth and win the event.
Yeah, there was a few undecided. I know that I think it was Gabrielle Bryan, and I could be wrong. Watch the video, but one of them said absolutely restaurants, but she didn't say it in a way of like that'll be easier than Cloudbreak. There was this real effervescent. I just love restaurants, like she
Yeah.
loves the wave, which probably is the case with Jordy too. I mean, it's a hard wave not to love, you know what I mean? I think everyone loves it, but I didn't sense that she was necessarily afraid of Cloudbreak. It was more like, oh, what a perfect wave. That looks rippable. So there were some undecideds on the women's side, and there was sort of a mixed bag. And I believe Caitlin said Cloudbreak.
Yeah. It's also been great from the kind of legacy media guys, Surfer Magazine, Stab Magazine. They're on island right now. And so it's been cool to see the coverage. Um, I mean, actually, their coverage is no more in depth than Vaughn Blakey's personal Instagram account. There's a lot of other just kind of surf world people who are
Yeah.
documenting a lot of what's going on. But my point is just that it's great to see real-time, day-to-day updates of who's doing what.
Yeah, there is something very personal about the island that allows for like some stories to bubble to the surface. Whereas if we were at a beach break in France and nobody's staying in the same house and you just kind of see them, you might see a pro surfer for an hour on site and you don't get to see kind of their interactions or maybe where their headspace is at. And so that's great. And it's good that like you say, I think it's Dashel Pearson and whoever's doing it for Stab. And of course, is Vaughn Blakey, he's probably on the Motu. But these guys get to, unearth some little gems, some fun little anecdotes about what's happening out there. And one of them is that apparently Kelly Slater's on site in a yacht anchored off of Tavarua. Basically, like, I'm probably staying in a nicer place than you are, and you're staying at Tavarua. Like it's the
He's
ultimate Slater power move.
he's Lex Luthor. He's a
He kind
bald
of
headed
is.
out on his yacht. I'm shocked. He doesn't have a hairless cat, but he does have that little dog.
Oh my God. That is so great. Oh man.
Um, well, the other news, this was Michael Ciamarella is the guy who's there for Stab, and he reported that in the opening ceremony of the event, they announced that they signed the tourism board and the WSL signed a 5-year continuation of the contract. So the WSL will have a CT event at Fiji, at Tavarua, presumably Cloudbreak until 2029.
Well, I don't know the fiscal restraints of that, but that's going to be expensive. And so tip of the cap to Diff. I think Diff's the guy that green lights that when Ryan Crosby or
Ziff,
whoever
Ziff,
Zip. Diff? Who's Diff? Mike Diffenderfer.
or
When
Dirk Ziff.
okay, that's
We
where it
just call
is.
him Diff. Yeah,
I'll just call him Diff. Oh, that's horrible. I don't even know
or
that.
Zerk.
Zerktown. Anyway, I'm just assuming again, I don't know the fiscals of it all, but I mean, from an operational logistics standpoint, they're going to have Namotu. They're going to have to own Tavarua for at least 2 weeks, I'm assuming. Maybe it's just 1 week if it's the back half of the tour, but it's a big sign off. And I'm assuming Ryan Crosby goes, "Hey, everybody wants this to happen. What do you think?" And I think Dirk goes, "If that's what they want, let's do it." The tour seems to be and has been, as you and I've talked about, leaning towards riding the ship, so to speak.
I agree. Well, it's also just such a positive relationship between the island, the tourism board, and the WSL as an organization. Like they're really partnered in this together. And so it'd be great if we can see those relationships fostered elsewhere. And especially at such a world-class wave. I think it's mutually beneficial for both.
Yeah, it's again back to the logistics. I'm assuming Namotu's in that situation again where they just like, rent out their island. But Namotu is more expensive than Tavarua.
Is it?
It used to be the other way around, but Namotu's like booked with super high end like Silicon Valley. Not that Tavarua isn't, but so logistically, maybe Namotu's off the map. If you didn't read about it in the press release, I bet it's not a part of the deal. And a lot of the surfers will just be staying off island and taking boats out there when the commissioner says green light.
Yeah, I mean, they certainly didn't cover any of those details. It was just that we will be running an event here
Yeah.
until 2029.
Yeah.
But speaking of everybody staying in the same house together, here we are in Chicama, Scott. And the WSL event will run while we're here, presumably on our last day of our trip. So we may be able to watch it as a group.
Yeah, that'll be fun, right? We got a bunch of frothing surfers and they're all into, like all of us, they're into the CT competition, especially when it's at a wave of consequence known as Cloudbreak. It'll be, actually, what'll be fun is to kind of get the temperature of our group regarding restaurants or Cloudbreak and see what they say. But yeah, we've got a great crew of guys. We've been surfing already a couple of days, and I'm looking out, and you are too at the point, and I'm seeing a new swell fill in here with
Definitely.
lines. The type of swell where there's 4, 5, 6 waves in a set, and filling in. So it's going to be an incredible week of surf here in Chicama. We're excited.
So Scott and I had never been here before. Waterways obviously organized this for us. We do these listener trips now twice a year. We did El Salvador in April, and then this is the second one. And El Salvador is a smaller hotel, I think 10 or 11 rooms. This, I think, is about 20. So we have twice the number of people. It's a much larger group, 36 people in total. And landed in Lima, then you take a 45-minute or an hour flight to a city called Trujillo, and then it's a 45-minute drive through the desert from Trujillo to this fishing town on a bay. And it's barren. Like the landscape in between the airport and here, it's barren desert, kind of a lunar looking mountains in the background and hills and stuff. But you get to this little town and there's couple gridded out streets with like little houses and stuff, and then a front boardwalk that was just recently built in the last 10 years. It was apparently just a dirt boardwalk up until then, but there's not a lot going on. It is a fishing town. There's one or two little markets and maybe a couple of restaurants. And this resort, the Chicama Boutique Resort, is by far the not only the nicest place in town, but from what I've heard, the nicest place in all of northern Peru. Like it's modern, it's really plush. We're very comfortable here. And the food, the restaurant's amazing.
Yeah, look, I just got out of a massage, and right after the massage, I went straight into a dry sauna for 20 minutes. And I'm coming out here and I mean, I couldn't be in a better headspace and relaxation space than I am thanks to the amenities that are here at the Chicama Boutique Hotel. And man, as you mentioned, the food's unreal. The ceviche I had last night was incredible. And it's just a beautiful place and highly recommend coming here. I mean, there's friends of ours that are staying at some other places and they're coming over here and kind of going,
Yeah.
hey, this place is pretty nice. You guys are smart. My wife
So
even stay at that other place.
so the we're the furthest, I guess it would be uh this hotel on this coastline, Scott, it'd be the furthest north.
Yes.
Okay. So the furthest north on this coastline. And the point kind of runs out from here. So we were just looking at the point, and then there's a pier down to the right. So when it's fully on, it breaks from beyond the point, because there's another point, another cove and another point, or a bay and a point. It breaks kind of that entire length when it's really on. We definitely have not seen that yet. We arrived yesterday. We got an afternoon session and then a morning session today. And it's kind of as small as it gets. Like it was waist high, only breaking on a couple of different sections along the entire point. But over the swell is forecasted to not only arrive, but also be a different direction. So it will come around here. And we're already starting to see, like you said, the effects of that. But my point is, you get to watch it all from our balcony. So you can sit at the resort and it's all positioned for surfing, basically. So you can just look out and just keep eyes on it all day. And from what I've heard from people is you really want to because it looks good all the time. It's like there's always waves breaking, and so it's almost like you want to look at what you want to look at it and you're enticed to go surf. So yesterday we got here and it's like there's waves, let's go surf. So you go out there and surf, but what you don't realize is you're here for a week and it's a marathon throughout the course. It's an Ironman competition throughout the course of the week. So it's easy to get overly frothed early on and go out there. And we went out there yesterday and it was waist high, really not worth expending a lot of energy on, but you're frothed and you're in the new place for the first time. So you're like battling for waves and stuff. And it's just unnecessary knowing what's coming and what's on tap.
Yeah, I actually have a little bit of that froth right now. Thinking about going out this afternoon and getting a few, but you're right, you kind of have to manage your output for sure because of the marathon sessions that are going to be coming. I mean, it's going to be 4 to 6 feet tomorrow, 5 to 7, and there's plenty of long period 16-second swell energy in the water, which is great news.
Well, you can, if you keep your eyes on it and time it right, you can surf all the elements coming together. So the right tide, the right wind with the swell. And if you don't, you can still get good waves. It's like, but the locals here will be like, "What are you paddling out for?" You're like, "Because it's freaking pumping." They're like, "No, bro. Just give it like 3 hours, wait for the tide to adjust. And then you do wait the 3 hours and it's on, you're like, I'm out of energy, you know? So
So you spoke to a local and he was telling you the filling in tide.
it's different for the different points.
Oh,
So
okay.
each has its own kind of thing. But the other super cool thing for anybody who is considering coming down here is they run boats for us nonstop to get back up the point. So they said that this was part of our deal coming, and I was like, yeah, whatever. I'll use it if it's available, but I'm not going to rely on a boat. I know how to walk down a point and I know how to paddle, but it's unbelievably convenient. They're basically zodiacs, and because of the size of our group, or Waterways organized five, and they pull up right basically on the sandy shoreline right out front of the hotel. So you just walk down, hop in the boat, take you all the way to whatever point is working the best along the line, and then drop you off right in the lineup. And by the way, there were no other surfers in the lineup when we did this, so we weren't like bumming people out, but they drop us right into the lineup. And they said some guys even said they'll time it with a set. They're like, hey, just stay in the boat, wait till a set's coming, and then they just pull you out right where the set's going to break. You jump off the boat, turn around and catch a wave, and then surf it. If you get far enough on the inside, they'll just pick you up on the inside and you can paddle back out, or you just get in the boat and they take you right back out. So you don't have to paddle nearly as much as you think you would.
Yeah, isn't that amazing? That's unreal. I understand that, and from what I've viewed yesterday, um, right now, Eric, our friend Eric, who's on this trip, and Nick, uh, those two seem to be the top surfers so far. I don't know if they're having the most fun. That's probably not true. Who knows? But they're definitely good, better than good. I would suggest to you, what's the level of their surfing? They're like semi-pro. Like they're like, if they were on tour, they'd be on the Challenger Series. Except that
Um,
they're 45 and 50 years old.
So I'll throw one caveat there, but I will say Nick Ferreira from Rome Surfboards. He shapes
Yes,
Rome surfboards.
yes, thank you. Exactly.
Good
Nick,
surfer. He's got great rhythm. He's got that board certainly wired, and yeah, it's just no matter what wave he's on, he's surfing well. My caveat though is Brian Walker is another contender for best surfers on the trip.
okay, I don't think I've seen Brian, or I don't even know if I've met Brian. There's so many guys on this trip. Which one's
Brian
Brian?
Brian's riding the 88 soft top with the two side bites, and he hasn't
Oh,
stood up
Brian.
yet.
Oh, Brian. Yeah, Brian yeah, no, Brian, I agree. Tell the listeners, Brian's having the most fun too. It looks to me
For
like
sure.
this guy's having a good time.
Brian gets 4 times as many waves as anybody. He came to El Salvador with us in April too, and he's on his own program. Like, if you talk to him, he's super social and everything, but he keeps his headphones on, he minds his own business, and then he's got a soft top, and you're like, what are you doing, dude? The waves are kind of good. And he paddles out on the soft top. He'll catch waves nobody's even looking at, ride them 3 times longer than anybody else. And then he'll also find himself on set waves and he'll hoot for you to go in front of him. It's like, go, go. And I remember in El Salvador, he was on a couple of right hand sets where he takes off on the peak and like side slips down the face and intentionally. And somebody's paddling in on the shoulder, looking at him, going, can I, like, is he going to eat it? Should I burn him? And he'll go, go, go. So a guy would take off on the wave and then Brian would catch the edge, tuck up into the tube, be sitting in the tube backside at Punta Mango, going, ah, like screaming or making some vocal sound while the other guy's ripping the open face in front of him. It was just like he's adding joy exponentially to the experience and absolutely like encourages everybody to go in front of him.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. You nailed it. Brian's a great joy to surf with and to be around. And those boards don't have fins on them, so he's riding finless foamies basically, and that's where he's
He
getting the side slip act. Does he have little baby fins on?
he built his own keels out of plywood, not even keels, side bites out of plywood that have like no um, they're basically 50-50. They're just foiled equally on both sides. There's no concave on the inside or anything like that.
Yeah.
And they're asymmetrical. I was look at one is made one way, the other one's made a different way. Like one's kind of a half moon shape, the other one has a little bit of an angle on it. Um, And yeah, but he's got a way, like he's sometimes laying on his butt and then he'll like put one knee up, kind of cocked in a leaning position. And then sometimes he'll be on his knees. He's got a bunch of different angles that he works,
I saw
but
him
he
on his
knows how to
back.
control it.
I
Yeah.
saw him on his back. I saw him on his belly. Like on one wave, he was in 4 or 5 different surfing positions.
Yeah.
It
He's
was
got it
incredible.
dialed. He is. So, anyways, the swell is on the way. We're going to get plenty more waves. You and I are going to reconvene early next week before we leave, and we'll give people an update on what's going on here. But so far, it's been a blast.
Yeah, and another shout out to the guys at Waterways, Brian, of course, who's here, and Chris Loomis. Chris, who really was sort of the point person for everybody, did a great job. As always, the guys at Waterways are just super professional. Can't say enough great things about them and how, it's good when a company that's doing your travel and it's surf travel are all hardcore surfers. And that's the beauty, one of the many beauties of Waterways.
Completely. The other thing, I don't know if you were aware of this, but this morning they grabbed a couple of guys here, grabbed a van and went over to Pacasmayo. Did you know that?
Yeah, I
I
did know
didn't
that. I
know.
was there. I was there in the morning when it all went down.
Tell me because I was not included. I was like, dude, I would have gone with you guys. And I didn't know until they got back.
Well, it was our friends Daniel and Alexander, and they were like up early with me, drinking coffee, looking at it when the sun was peeking through or the light was coming through. And one of the guys was like, "What about Pacasmayo? I'd like to go to Pacasmayo." And I was like, "You know what? Easy. Just you can organize a van right now,
Yeah.
like get it done, just like boom." And there's guys tomorrow that are going.
Okay. Well, good call because everybody says that is always double the size of this. And today it was small here. So I talked to Daryl when they got back and he said it was, yeah, 4 feet and it's a little bit more punchy too. It's not as soft as this wave is. So he's like, it was super duper fun. So good on them for doing that. And then what'd you do this morning?
I went foiling. My friend Marty and I took a boat and went up to the top of the point to tow into waves on the foils.
How'd that go?
It didn't go good for Scott. I kind of failed. Well, I did fail. I didn't kind of fail. So I'm struggling. I'm trying to get up on foil with the tow strap, with the tow rope. I mean, and so I'm still in like what my boat driver called training mode. I'm still training. I'm learning how. Now, Marty from Kauai nailed it. He got up, boom, 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 towed right up on foil and got towed out to some waves. And he caught, 3 or 4 really good long waves. Um, so he had a great session. I had a bit of a shocker, and I'm trying to lick my wounds and figure out, you know, what I'm doing wrong.
Well, I'm kind of surprised that considering you know how to paddle prone, catch a wave, stand up, and ride the foil under your own power, I'm shocked that the towing would be more difficult.
Yeah, it's a whole new thing. You and I remember when we were in North Carolina learning how to foil, we had a big fat board that we got on our knees and they towed us up. Joey did, and because it was such a big platform, it was kind of easy to go from our knees to just standing up. Well, now, I'm on this much, much, much smaller tow board and I have to sink it underwater, keep it sunk while I'm using my arms to sort of tread water. Then the rope comes around. I got to grab the rope, get in. And I'm hoping that I've got my act together underneath me. He takes off. I get up, lift the nose out of the water and get up and I'm going and the board's been lift bronking me off. And I
Yeah.
think it's all about my technique. I'm not getting up on my front leg. I'm when I get it's like, you want to kind of lean back into this rope and as soon as you do that, you're done. And I'm having an issue getting up to my front side.
Yeah, for anybody who's not foiled, you have to put so much weight on the front foot at all times. The way that the thing, just the, hydrodynamics of it make it want to do a wheelie at all times. And so you're pushing constant force down on your right or on your front foot.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
So more will be
was
revealed. I might just not be able to do it. I might just have to be a prone foiler and not tow, which would be a
well, was
real.
that an option? Was that an option out there? What were the waves like?
Not where I was. No, you have to tow into the waves way out there because they're just open ocean
Okay.
swells. They don't really even break. They barely come.
Oh,
So if I
okay.
have to prone foil, I'll be like inside here, right in front, just catching the little ones instead of the really big. But you know what? Whatever, however it pans out, it's all good. It's not. It's just part of the process of life. Like if I don't pull it off, I've got enough humility now that maybe it wasn't meant to be. I don't know, like, but I do also have enough pride and ego that I'm like, okay, I got to figure this out, like I'm getting back on the Bronco, and so
Yeah.
we'll see what happens. I did
Well,
make, I did, not that anyone cares, but I did make some advancements today. Like I learned how to do this part, the treading water, keep the board underneath me without holding on to it, grab the tow rope. I got up probably 15 times, and each time I got launched.
are you exhausted?
Yeah, I'm pretty tired.
Yeah, that
And
will burn you
plus
out.
the sun, like I put on sunscreen, I can just see that I'm sunburned, and you've got some sun too. So
Yeah, I fully put on sunscreen and it's cloud cover the whole time, but we're still getting
doesn't
roasted.
matter, right?
Apparently not. Well, the good news is the reason you bring different types of equipment is for different types of conditions, and you did not miss anything in the surf session this morning
Yeah, yeah.
or yesterday for that matter. I mean, it was good just to get your feet wet and like kind of get it sorted out, but once the actual swell arrives, it's a different style of wave anyways, so you can get it re-sorted out then. My only goal was just to get in the water, and you did that by foiling, so you're all
Yeah,
good.
and Wade, our friend Wade Largent is around, and he told me like there's waves right in front here that run all the way to the pier when there's a swell that nobody's even on. So I might be able to just prone foil those. And of course, I got my surfboard. I've got my DK surfboard, so I'm going to be able to catch a bunch of waves on that too. And I look
Yeah,
forward to doing that.
totally. Well, we got a week ahead of us, 5, 6 days ahead of us, so lots to be done. Pace yourself, hydrate is key, of course, and super nutrient packed food here. I had the ceviche for lunch too, and it's the perfect like protein, not too overly filling. You don't feel fat afterwards. Eat a bowl of fruit with it, and you're good to go.
Yeah, good call. Absolutely. I'm on the ceviche plan.
Yeah, me too, always. Just another note. I know you have not been watching Stab's um,
Surf
100,
100.
Surf 100.
Yeah.
I want to discuss it just for any listeners who are. I told you about it about a month ago about how they were trying to basically create a viral YouTube show that would access new audience via that platform. So it's shot entirely differently. The editing's entirely different. They're 30, actually like 23-minute episodes, and there's $100,000 cash prize. It's almost shot like a game show, at MTV kind of reality slash game show. And it's been a little hit and miss in terms of entertainment value for me personally, and it's very dependent on whether the waves are good or not. But they're at the pointy end of it now. There's one finalist selected, which is Sebastian Williams. And apparently they did an interview with him on Stab. I did not read it yet, but a number of people sent it to me saying it was really good and really insightful, and he's an interesting character. But his surfing has always been really good. He grew up in Mexico, and like Puerto Escondido, surfing incredible waves, like big waves, but then doing huge airs. He was part of the Quicksilver team early on, and then got cut when everybody got cut. And so he's been a little bit hasn't had a main sponsor since. And but he is an incredible surfer, really stylish and also super duper confident. So in the last episode that they aired, it was up in Santa Cruz, and they surfed 3 different locations, and they were going to combine your best wave score from each of the 3 locations, and you win that day. And he got out of the water early. Like he was at this spot, stomped a crazy air, came in. It was an hour session, came in with 20 minutes to spare. And they're like, "What are you doing?" He's like, "I don't know. That's the best I could do out there." They're like, "Well, at least go and block. Like if you just get waves that those guys would have potentially got, then they won't get their best wave." He's like, "No, don't want to play that game, don't want to be negative, but that's as good as I could do." Sure enough, it was the best wave of that session, so he got the score. And then at Steamer Lane later, he did the craziest air I've ever seen done at Steamer Lane, full stop. Like not in a contest, not just like full stop, the craziest air. Full rotation, like front side grab, but inverted at the same time and just huge. And so it's kind of a pat on the back of Stab for continually reinventing these things, but keeping the focus on surfing because, you know, I watch a lot of surfing. I've seen a lot of surfing at Steamer, and if this is the best air that we've ever seen at Steamers, and it was during their event, it happened because of their event. So pretty cool.
Yeah, I'm I'm a fan of Sebastian Williams. I didn't see any of this Surf 100, but um, tip of the cap, to Sebastian. He seems like a great guy, and I love the mojo of just surfing, getting your best, knowing it's your best, and coming in.
He's charming in that way. Like the Aton Osborne and Rasta Robbie Williams were the ones who were in the water with him, and they were a little miffed. Just like, what the heck, dude? Like that's rude. Um, but and I could understand, like I guess I understand what they're talking about, but to me, it was just like, no, he's on his own program, he's doing his own thing. I like it. So it'd be interesting to see if he wins it. But another kind of curveball that Stab's throwing in is whoever the other winner is between Aton and Rob. Um, it's going to be a three-way final between the two winners or the two finalists from this, and then they're throwing Julian Wilson in the mix to surf against him.
Oh, that's interesting. So Julian can just
Yeah,
win that particular part?
apparently.
Wow. Oh my God, that seems a little odd.
It
That
is
seems a
odd.
little
Yeah.
it seems a little Rivia. It seems a little, hey man, we're bros. I got a company. I'd love to get some marketing. I'll give you, let's do a deal. Oh, really? You're throwing me into this event? I don't know. I can't, I'm reading between the lines here, but it feels a little odd. And
Uh,
I imagine if you're a competitor, you're like, what?
It feels unfair for a competitor who earned it their way through the series. So I'm wondering if they're going to create kind of like maybe Julian wins bragging rights if he wins the event, but he doesn't get the 100K. Maybe the 100K still goes to one of the other guys. I don't know. But I've enjoyed it, and I do think it can achieve their goal of transitioning onto a mainstream media platform and generating new surf fans and new Stab fans through doing this because it
Well,
does execute all those elements.
who sponsors the Surf 100 from like a board short standpoint?
No board short company, but Pacifico Beer does.
Yeah. So I'm wondering if like the finals will be somehow there'll be some Rivian. Is it Rivia? Rivian?
Rivia.
There might be some Rivia branded something coming
Let,
at you.
predicted here first by Scott Bass. We'll see. We'll
I don't know. I mean, that's, why else would you
all
just
right.
throw a random guy into the event?
They always said it was going to be they were going to reveal later, but there was going to be a like proven surfer from the CT who's won a bunch of events that these guys have to compete against. They always said that would be, but they just revealed that it was Julian.
Oh, well, okay. Well, then if it was planned and everyone knew it was coming, that's fine.
Okay.
I thought this was just like, oh, let's
Julian was
just
the big
throw,
announcement.
throw a crowbar into the whole deal.
Right. Well, before we give you our kooks of the week, which I have this week for you, Scott, and also a must-see moment, shout out to Surfrider Foundation, of course, for doing all the wonderful work that they're doing for ocean protection and also like legislative work to fight offshore oil drilling, like really in-depth, long-term projects that require legal, lawyers and legal strategy and all this stuff, in addition to just cleaning up local beaches and everything in between. So the ocean needs more friends. Go become a member at surfrider.org. And then you want to go with Kook or must see moment right now?
Let's go with Kook.
All right, man. I don't know if you saw this story. Uh, Andrew Eric Gustafson, 59 years old of Morro Bay, has been charged with two felonies for allegedly turning a SUP into both a battering ram and a bludgeon. Did you see this story?
No, but it makes perfect sense. I mean, that's kind of what, when you think about like in the olden days and those medieval Renaissance days, and the guys would get on horses and joust each other with those long I forget what they're called, those jousting spears.
It was just a joust. That's what it was called.
Yeah, so this feels like they're on big horses with jousts in their hands, and it makes sense. A little bludgeoning.
Well, well, it was only a matter of time, I suppose, then.
Yeah.
According to local news sources, state parks first booked him for attempted murder. Though the
Whoa.
DA has, yeah, though the DA has since dialed it back, trying to split hairs between surf rage and homicidal tendencies, uh, after being dissatisfied with how a woman had ridden her wave. Witnesses said that Gustafson paddled furiously over to the woman surfing, hit her from behind, then graduated from vehicular assault to paddle combat. At around 10:45 a.m. Saturday, he
Well,
allegedly
before I
climbed.
laugh, is the woman okay? Like, I don't want to laugh if there's been harm, physical. Like, is she in the hospital or anything? Because I don't want to make light of her injuries or anybody's
She
injuries.
she declined medical treatment.
Okay, I'll laugh then. Go ahead.
He allegedly climbed onto her board, verbally abused her, and then forced her head underwater as well.
Oh,
A
man, that sucks. That's never
classic surf rage technique. Uh,
mental
all the
trauma.
all the while, allegedly, his SUP paddle remained in his hand. The victim declined medical treatment. Gustafson's bail has been slashed from $550,000 to 25,000. So from half a million down to 25,000. And the hearing is set for September 3rd. So September 3rd, our last day here, WSL Finals day potentially, and his hearing. It's a big day in the surf world.
Very, very big day. Very big day. Well, that's
Very big
unfortunate.
kook.
It's sad. Yeah, that's just a really kooky move. And, you know, we need to, I need to have patience. I need to be um, humble and have some humility and, it's just really, it's just really sad, like the state of humanity. Now, look, there's been idiots since time began, like it's not like we just turned this way, but it does seem like, man, especially when, we're down here in Peru, it's not necessarily, there's a lot of poverty down here. There's a lot of people struggling. And, you live in Morro Bay, you live in California, you're out surfing, you know, step back a little bit and just acknowledge and be grateful and don't and help the poor woman out. Like, I don't know if he didn't like the way she was doing turns, or maybe she was just a beginner. Even if she wasn't, what was it, like 3 foot closed out Morro Bay? Like, what are we doing here? Like,
Yeah.
Lord, maybe step away from the creatine or something. I don't know what's going on.
I agree with you. It's an important perspective to have. I don't know if you heard last night, somebody was educating me on the Peruvian Civil War. And I mean, if you want to talk about having a proper perspective and feeling grateful for the way that you were raised or the place you were raised in, I guess Sofia Milanovic was real young when this was happening, but like that airport in Lima was the most bombed airport in the world for like 10 years. There was
Ah,
constant bombings. It was like communists basically had overtaken the country, and so it was the, you know, local Peruvians or the indigenous Peruvians trying to oust them, and eventually did. And the way that he told it was they all kind of fled. They got them all kind of pushed to the edge of the coast, and the communist group fled over to an island. So the Peruvian authorities sent out, destroyer type ships, naval ships, over to the island and basically gave them an option. They're like, surrender or we're going to bomb you. And they never surrendered, and they all got bombed and killed. So kind of a really incredible. I mean, to think you would take it, to that level if your home is being invaded is just a sad reality for a lot of the world.
yeah. So put away your jousting paddle and,
Yeah,
you know, don't be so lame.
no,
Come on. Isn't the
but
guy
a
50
resilient,
now? Is he 60
yeah,
years old or something?
59.
Oh my God.
It's crazy.
Well,
By the way, Andrew Gustafson, if you happen to be a listener, feel free to call in and share your side of the story on this one.
we're having another waterways thing. Maybe you can join our group next time. Oh my God,
Curious
that
to
would
hear
be
what your
fun.
side could be. Um, But yeah, and they're Peruvians are a resilient people though, because I've been met with nothing but like smiles and hospitality. So
Do you think like, is there like, what if the woman caught a wave, said, "Hey, you're a kook stand-up paddler, F you," blah, and he just went, "That's it." And just like, is there anything she could have done that would have made what he did okay?
no,
No. You
definitely
don't
not.
people
There's no
jump on their
justification.
board, hold their water head underwater.
Yeah.
Come on.
I mean, look, if she was like some cracked out crazy person on PCP, like trying to fight you, maybe you could defend yourself and that would be
Right.
a scenario, but anything short of that,
Short
no.
of defense of a PCP laden woman.
Exactly. Out in the lineup surfing. Quite the scenario we've painted.
Yeah.
Well, my must-see moment presented by Treeswax. By the way, thank you, treeswax.com, for the incredible petroleum-free surf wax. You can get a discount, 20% by using code SPIT, not case sensitive, at treeswax.com. They'll also give you a money-back guarantee. Mine is obvious. It's Jack Robinson's warm-up sessions at Cloudbreak.
Awesome. Must
It's on
see. How do we go see?
it's on YouTube. It's on Redbull's surfing channel, and I mean, we whether or not they run at Cloudbreak, we all love watching Cloudbreak, and you can watch it there.
I gotta get Red Bull into my algorithm somehow. It's not in there, but did you see that Alan Watts thing? Did I send that to you?
You did, yeah.
Did you watch it?
No, not yet. It's on my
Yeah,
open tabs.
kind of a deep dive.
Yeah,
It's really good. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. Not for a surf show. I will tell you this. Yeah, I wanted to mention that Shane Magnusson is going to be at the Boardroom Show doing a seminar on wave pool technology. Of course, Shane is the preeminent and dominant voice and a wonderful guy. I've been lucky enough to spend some time, a little bit of time with him at Waco when he was at Waco, and he was just a really great, just really helpful in the water and helpful all around. So he's going to be doing a seminar. Ben Gravy's also going to be at the Boardroom Show, I just found out. And of course, a lot of other luminaries and surf stars and surf pros and just the bros and the gals. We're all going to be there. So it's going to be good fun at the Boardroom Show in about 5.5 weeks, something like that, in Del Mar, California. Boardroom Show.
amazing. I'll be there too.
Yeah, good stuff. All right, David, we've had a great show. Look, until next week, when I guess we're going to record again our final day from Chicama.
Let's do it.
And is that the third? I feel
Yeah,
like we're gonna be able to surf on the third, and then we leave
yeah,
late at night.
yeah. I think that's right.
The third's going to be pumping. It's going to be, I looked at the forecast. The third's going to be maybe the best day.
So maybe we'll record on Monday or Tuesday.
Okay. Well, anyway, until next time, adios and aloha.